This is Miss Wallace with the Mobile Fab Lab, and we're going to work on how to make a hollow house. So you should have your solid house shape by now. We made this yellow house shape in our last video. And now the challenge is, how can we make this hollow? And there's two different challenges. We have the green challenge and the red. The green one has a floor and the red one does not. So we're going to look at both of those. Now, to make something hollow, we know we're going to have to use the boxes, the box and the cylinder, these hollow hole shapes to cut holes into our design. And we can try to do that, but we want to make sure that we actually are cutting a hole in the roof part of the house too. So I have a trick on how to do that in a way easier fashion. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my yellow house and I'm going to duplicate it. Remember, to duplicate something, you can press these little squares up here. And if I press it one time, that's going to duplicate my house one single time. So if I click and drag it away, there's now two houses. Now I'm going to change the color of my second house just so I can get a better idea of, make sure I know which one's which. Yellow is my original house. And now I have this new pink house. These are exactly the same. We duplicated it. They are exactly the same. To make the pink house, the inside, the whole part, all I have to do is click on this whole option right here. So now you can see that the stripy gray kind of part, that's negative space. That's going to cut a hole. But the problem is it's still exactly the same shape. So if I put it on top of each other, if I group these guys together, nothing's going to exist. It's just going to disappear. We want to undo that. What we're going to do instead is we're going to take this hole shape and we're going to make the house hole a little smaller. So remember, we can use these white squares to kind of stretch out the shape or to make it a little smaller, but then things get kind of wonky. So the trick I want to show you is if I press and hold the shift key on my keyboard while I'm dragging, it keeps the house the same relative shape. So as the width gets bigger, so does the length and the height. We're going to go back to our regular shape. Here's our original shape. I'm going to hold the shift key, and then I'm going to click on this little white box and make the house a little smaller. So it was 20 millimeters. Now it's 18 millimeters. Now I can put the hole, the grayed out house, inside of the yellow house. You see, I can't see it. Oh, I can see it a little bit back here. So now I'm going to use that those align features again. So I'm going to draw a red selection box around the house. And then up here, I can select this align feature. And then I can just click the middle boxes on both of the bottom ones. And now we can see that the house, the square, is right in the middle. So we can't see any of those like weird gray lines on the outside of the house. So I'm going to select these again and press group. Now the house is going to look the same from the outside, but if I look at it from the bottom, you can see that the house is now hollow. And then finally, we just want to cut some windows. A round window in the front and a square window on the side. So I'm going to grab a square hole. This one's way too big, so I'm going to use that trick by holding the shift key and making it smaller again. And then I'm just going to use my little black arrow to raise that up. And then if I select both of these guys and group together, now I have a square hole on the side of my house, or a window. And then I can do the same thing on the front. But now if I want to make this, if I make this a little smaller here, you can see that this shape actually, while it is a cylinder, the direction it's facing doesn't cut a circle into the house. I need to rotate it. So remember, to rotate things, we use these little handles, the grayed out kind of curvy arrow handles. I'm going to select that and rotate it 90 degrees so that when I put it onto the house, it will actually cut out a circle. I'm going to group it one more time, and now I should have a hollow house that doesn't have a floor and a circle window in the front and a square window on the side. So this is the same as our red hollow house. So I'm just going to change the shape to red so we know which one is which.